members of the 2025 Cooper term class, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff, welcome to the Nashville School of Law's 117th Commencement Exercise. All of us are delighted that you have joined us to recognize and honor our students that are graduating today. The tenure of the class of 2025's tenure at the school has been unique. The stress and uncertainty caused by COVID on the front end increased the usual burdens of the first year of law school and added some unfamiliar challenges for all of us. Through it all, the class of 2025, or I should say the grade class of 2025, found new ways to learn, study, and collaborate. I congratulate each of you for your tenacity, your resilience, and your agility in overcoming these challenges. You deserve today's celebration. The degrees we're about to confer and the diplomas we're about to bestow are the tangible rewards of the work and sacrifices of these students, as well as their families, friends, employers, throughout the students' years of study and attending school at night. And I think at this point in the ceremony, we should applaud and thank families, employers, and friends who have supported you. Throughout our long history, our school has been guided by visionary leaders. Our trustees are our leaders of today, and we are indeed fortunate to have many of our trustees who have joined us this morning. It is my privilege to introduce to you the chairman of our board, the nationally and indeed internationally renowned attorney and community leader, Aubrey Harwell, who will introduce his fellow board members.
Well, I've got some notes I prepared for you, but let me tell you, I've got a few comments for this fully pulpit that give me. First of all, what incredible job you all have done. The board is aware of the price you've paid, and all of us here today congratulate you all. You're going to love pursuing this profession. Having said that, as the chair of your board, I'm delighted to announce that we have two new board members who just joined us. To my left are the members of our board. We've got Mary Frances Rudy, who graduated from this law school in 1988. She's a lawyer, she's an entrepreneur, she's a phenomenal human being and a dear friend of mine. 25 years ago, she established Rudy Title and Escrow. That's one of the leading title companies in the state. In addition to that, what she's most proud of is being a devoted mother of 4, a grandmother to 18, and a great-grandmother to 5. She got married very early and started her family. Then we've got Marlene Moses. Marlene likewise graduated from this law school back in 1980. She is an incredibly internationally acclaimed domestic relations lawyer and practices at Gullett, Sanford, Robinson, and Martin. She has a long list of accolades, including being named to the Nashville Public Education Foundation Hall of Fame honoree in April. She has 3 children and 6 grandchildren and no great-grandchildren. Marlene and Mary Frances have been dedicated supporters. They understand the mission. They totally are committed to continue this phenomenal school. Other board members today are Gary Garfield. Gary joined our board in 2019. He retired from Bridgestone Americas. He was general counsel, he was chairman, he was CEO with 55,000 employees. He's the guy that made the Bridgestone headquarters in Nashville and not Chicago. Then we've got Judge Frank Clement. Judge Clement is a 1979 graduate of their school. He's been a board member since 2006. He serves as presiding judge of the Middle District of the Tennessee Court of Appeals. He's an incredibly good friend of mine, and he's been on this board a long time. And then we've got John Rochford. John likewise is a graduate of this law school back in '74. He joined our board of trust in 2016. He's an incredibly successful entrepreneur. He's the president and the founder of Rochford Realty and Construction, They built everything you can imagine, and he's done incredibly well and been a great supporter. Last but not least, Tom Coney, another board chairman, cannot be here, and likewise Judge Waverly Crenshaw's on our board, had a conflict, but they also want me to wish you all the best and congratulate you all.
Our students and our school's success rest really in the hands of the dedicated men and women of our faculty. Each of these distinguished lawyers and judges have accepted the challenge, some for many years, of using their knowledge, wisdom, and experience to prepare their students for successful and rewarding careers. You, the class of 2025, are our faculty's legacy to the profession. It has been their goal to pass along to you not just an assortment of legal principles and rules, but also their respect for the rule of law and for the noble profession you are about to enter. When you leave here today, you are taking a little bit of each of them with you. We are fortunate that many of our faculty members have joined us today. I would appreciate if they would stand to receive the recognition and thanks. Please stand. Thank you so much. Our students and faculty go about their work in an environment that is created and maintained by our dedicated, experienced, patient, and efficient staff. The doors would not be open, the lights would not be on, and the business of our school would not be done without these dedicated men and women. This ceremony today is a result of their planning and hard work. And if I may, I'd ask the NSL staff to stand to be recognized as well. And in case any of you are wondering, that is the whole staff. It is my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker today, Dwight Tarwater. We invited Justice Tarwater to share his thoughts with you today, not simply because of the high office he holds, or his distinguished, if serendipitous, legal career, or the impressive length of his resume. Rather, we invited Justice Tarwater because of what David Brooks calls his eulogy values: his kindness, his empathy, his bravery, his honesty, and his humility. When Governor Lee spoke at Justice Tarwater's investiture in October of 2023, he stated that during his personal interview with Justice Tarwater, he discerned that Justice Tarwater was the right person for the job based on Justice Tarwater's judgment and humility forged by his bittersweet life experiences. Now, these included, and I'm not going to go through his resume, you can Google him and find out all you want to know about that. But he was selected as torchbearer while an undergraduate at the University of Tennessee. And for those of you that are not familiar with that honor, it's not just based on academic performance, it's also based on a demonstrated outstanding commitment to other people. Also, Justice Tarwater has been named a Fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers, a distinction reserved for trial lawyers who have demonstrated the highest standards of advocacy, ethical conduct, integrity, professionalism, and collegiality. And then finally, another example of why Justice Tarwater has invited us to be with us today is his commitment to creating a new beginning for his 3 children and himself following the death of his wife, Kathy, in December of 2012. Part of that new beginning included leaving his successful trial practice and accepting Governor Bill Haslam's invitation to become his general counsel. Now, even though Justice Tarwater has likened the role he played as being similar to the Maytag repairman, Governor Haslam has later said that he valued Justice Tarwater's great judgment and that Justice Tarwater would bring humility to the bench that will serve us all well. Justice Tarwater is sitting on the Tennessee's highest court today, not because he can moonwalk, he can, but rather because he has been seasoned by life. He has learned, as C.S. Lewis once observed, and I'm quoting now, "It doesn't really matter whether you grip the arms of the dentist chair or let your hands lie in your lap. The drill drills on." At his investiture, Justice Tarwater said that he intended to do the work, to decide the cases, and to serve with honor. He is living up to those commitments, and I am delighted to present him to you now.
Thank you, Dean Koch, for that introduction. It's actually quite touching, and it's an honor for me to be with all of you today. To the dean and the faculty, members of the bar, members of the court, trustees, graduates, friends, and family, today is a great day. I want to congratulate this class. I know the mission of this law school to allow working people to get their law degrees. I know that many of your journeys have been long, and there have been twists and turns along the way. Yet here you are, the class of 2025. You have achieved, while living your own life in a different area, not at school, the highest level of academic success. Many of you will join our esteemed and honorable profession, but at least today, all of you will receive your law degree, your doctorate of jurisprudence. Today, think about this, today you graduate from law school. Good job, you guys. So let's reflect a moment on what it means to have a law degree. 27 American presidents have been lawyers. The first lawyer to hold office as president was John Adams. And before John Adams became President Adams, he was Lawyer Adams. And he took on a case, a very unpopular case at the time, at great personal and political risk for someone who aspired to lead our country. He represented 8 British soldiers who participated in the Boston Massacre. Now, why would he do such a thing? And his answer was very clear. He simply believed that the accused should have a fair trial. There is honor in that. There is honor in who you are. There is honor in what we do. I'm so glad you chose to be part of this profession. Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer. One of his documents that he prepared, I know you have these writing courses and your professors encourage you to write well and concisely and clearly. Abraham Lincoln, a lawyer, wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. that freed slaves and led to the abolition of slavery and kept our country together at a critical time in its history. "32 of the framers of the United States Constitution," yeah, that document y'all had to study in your con law class. 32 of the framers of the Constitution, lawyers. 25 of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, lawyers. 9% of America's CEOs, lawyers. So your achievement is great, your future is bright, the possibilities are endless. But lest you think you are solely responsible for this day, I suggest that you are not. There are your parents who raised you and helped you along. There are your husbands and wives who have loved you through this process and encouraged you. Many of you have children who will admire and respect you for working your way through law school and achieving this degree. There are your teachers, many of whom are here, maybe all of them are here, who have been patiently at your side and here this very moment. Your employers, they've been flexible and gracious to help you. And all of you have friends who have stood by you during this process. So Dean Koch mentioned a sudden and tragic event that occurred in my life that many know about. I lost the bride of my youth way too early and suddenly and tragically. And I've been asked about that and maybe what I learned from that situation. And I learned a couple of things. I learned a couple of hundred things, but I learned two things that I have often offered young people and that I'll offer you today, you graduates today. There are value in two statements. There is value in the words, "I love you." There is value in the words, "Thank you." Never miss an opportunity to say, "I love you." Never miss an opportunity to say, "Thank you." And don't miss those opportunities today to say what needs to be said to all those that helped you get to this day, to those who loved you, to those who encouraged you, to those who supported you, to those who picked you up, to those who straightened you out, to those who helped you along, and to those who were on their knees praying for you that this day might come. They share this day with you. So, class of 2025, let's talk about you a bit. Your journey, where it's beginning anew and where it might go. You're here because you've demonstrated some skills. You're good students. You work hard. You write well. You're curious, analytical. You're precise and accurate. These are qualities that are possessed by great lawyers. That is what will be expected of you, and you should expect that of yourselves. And these are the same skills and virtues that on which employers place great weight. The law degree is a very useful and versatile degree. But your work is not yet done, not quite yet done. Many of you will take the bar exam. Bar exam's hard. It's supposed to be. Last summer, only 72% of takers passed. But I want you to hear this from me and hear it well today. You can do this. You can do this. If you can graduate from this law school with everything else that's gone on in your lives, you can take one more test and pass it. My word, if you can pass Professor Spoden's civil procedure class, you can pass the bar exam. You see, you and I have a shared experience. Back in the day when we were in law school together, Clark Spoden and I were in the same study group. We spent a lot of time together. He talked back then as much as he does now. He was as sure of his viewpoints then as he is now. And the shared experience is just like you. He got me through law school too. After the bar exam, if those of you who pass will be called upon to take the oath of admission. And I have to tell you that since I've been on the court, administering the oath of admission is one of the most meaningful tasks that I've been assigned. To be able to look into your eyes and hear your solemn promise, to see your parents and spouses and loved ones stand with you with awe and pride for what you have done, to experience that sense of wonder where your career might take you. Say, maybe to the Supreme Court. It's a profoundly moving experience. Our oath is a commitment to the honor of our profession. And I can tell you right now, I want to administer the oath to every single one of you graduates, every one. So our oath only contains 2 sentences. A first sentence goes like this: I, Dwight Tarwater, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Tennessee. Your education will serve you well in fulfilling the first sentence of that oath. You see, we're a little different here in our country. This is not an oath to support the Queen or to support some entity or a flag. This is an oath to uphold our governing documents, the documents that express the consent of the people to be governed. It's a promise to protect and uphold the rule of law. So, as to sentence number 1, your oath is a promise to support the will of the people, the will of the citizens of the state of Tennessee and the United States of America. And your education will help you keep that promise. But there is a second sentence. Let me read this one to you. In the practice of my profession, I often wondered if that word profession should be life, in the practice of my life. But in the practice of my profession, I will conduct myself with honesty, fairness, integrity, and civility to the best of my skill and abilities, so help me God. Now it gets personal. It becomes about who you are, not what you do. So I got this rock in my office, and I'm not sure where I got this rock. I'm pretty sure someone who loved me gave me this rock. And inscribed on the rock are the words of Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, who said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." And so I ask you, what lies within you? Honesty, fairness, integrity, civility, honor. Is your compass pointed in the right direction? Are you doing this for the right reasons? Do you see service opportunities in the community and the bar and in the profession? When you see a piece of land, do you see a barren landscape? Or do you see a garden? When you go north of town, north of here, and you see an empty city block with used needles and maybe a prostitute or two, is that what you see? Or do you see a playground? When you see a homeless person, do you see someone to be avoided or someone to be embraced? Or maybe, do you see a potential client, someone who needs you to do for them what they can't do for themselves? One of the greatest writers that I know, legal writers that I know, happens to be your dean. And I've often wondered, when I would look at his writings, and the time and the care which he took, I would encourage you to see your writings like Dean Koch sees his writings, not as words on paper, but as a work of art, something that is beautiful to look at, but conveys a powerful meaning. I have found, as I have gone through life, that one of the most important virtues that any of us can have is hope. Sometimes it can be easy to lose hope. Don't lose hope. Hope sustains us no matter how bad the days are. I'll give you an example of that. In 1962, when my wife's father was sworn in as Attorney General in Alabama, he was very progressive on the issues of civil rights. He felt like that the phrase, all men are created equal, actually means something, and that it would be okay if everybody went to school together, drank out of the same water fountain, had the same right to vote. And he expressed some of his hope then for the New South. Well, a lawyer was elected governor in Alabama that day, and his name was George Wallace. And his hope was segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. About the same time, there was a speech in Washington, D.C. by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "I have a dream. I have a dream that one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers." Hope, hope, good hope. Dream, good dreams. Have a heart for others. I feel like I'm talking too much about my office today, but in addition to this rock, I also have a sign, and it was given to me by the former Attorney General Herbert Slatery, and the sign says, "It's not about you." And I had that sign in my office when I was in Nashville working for Governor Haslam, and I have it now in my Supreme Court chambers. I look at that sign every day, and I try to remind myself to serve and to be humble, and that this life and this profession is a gift. Don't let a lifetime pass thinking about what you might keep for yourself, because what you keep for yourself, you will never really have. But what you give to others, you have now, and you always will. All right, class of 2025, I want to encourage you to be strong. Lawyers need courage. Sometimes it takes a tub full of guts to stand shoulder to shoulder with some of your clients. Billy Graham once said, "When a brave person takes a stand, the spines of others are stiffened." Now, you will have bad days in the practice of law. You should expect that. You will lose cases. You will disappoint clients, and they will disappoint you. I can assure you of that. Other lawyers may be difficult. I can assure you of that. And judges, maybe even Supreme Court justices, may rule against you. But we are professionals, so we do our best every time. Because the next case, the next client, is waiting on you, and they will need you, and they will need the best of you, and they deserve the best of you. The last part of the oath has to do with civility. It's a promise to treat each other well. It's pretty simple, really. It's not just being nice. It's not just agreeing all the time, because we get paid to disagree, right? But be true. Be polite. Be patient. Be respectful. And be humble. Sometimes that can be hard. You see, professionalism is a gradient. Some days we're the consummate professional. Other days not so much. But take the long view, do the best you can. Every moment of every day. It's often been said that it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, but only an instant to lose it. So I'll turn last to humility. Now, I'm a recovering, not very humble person. When I was a trial lawyer, I had a bit of a swagger. When I got to Nashville, I learned pretty quickly that the best thing that I could do is really not be seen. To be heard by Governor Haslam on some of the most important decisions that he had to make, but to be in the shadow, in the shadows. And perhaps it was when this occurred in my life, and I had just lost Mary, and I was struggling to keep my family together, but I realized that humility is a virtue, and I realized that in my own heart that I needed to work on that I could do better. And I thought I was doing okay with this humility thing until an event happened which realized that being humble is never really a finished product. It was late one night and for those of you who know me, you know you're not going to get out of here without a story, so I'm going to tell this story. I apologize to maybe this side because I think some of the lawyers and judges may have heard this, but it's worth telling. It was September, it was the fall of 2018. We had work to do at the Capitol. We were working very late. It was a night in which there were credible threats of violence. There was a perimeter set up around the Capitol. There was a security detail there. There's a command post set up in the basement of the Capitol with cameras and the like, and a bunch of troopers. And as the night wore on, I had asked the troopers to take two young women to their cars to escort them to their vehicles and make sure that they got home safely. These were two members of the governor's staff, both young women, both expecting, and so they did. And I found myself the last member of the governor's staff at the Capitol that night. So trooper said, "Counselor, you want us to take you out?" And I said, "No, boys, I got this. You know, my car's down at the foot of the steps where it always is, and I'll jump in and be gone. But thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for all that you do for our state." And so I walked out the back door, and at the bottom of the steps next to my car, there was a mob. They were carrying burning objects. And I went back in to the Capitol. I said, "Guys, there's a mob. There's a mob outside the Capitol at the foot of the steps." And then they kind of yelled at each other for a little while. "Why didn't you see it? Why didn't you see it? Why didn't you? We got to get the counselor out of here." And the next thing I knew, I had two big burly troopers on either side of me marching me down the steps of the Capitol. It was like my Taylor Swift moment. Nick Saban, you know, I had security. You know, I was the man. I had these guys. They're escorting me out. We got to the foot of the steps, and the mob was a haunted walking tour of Nashville. They had all stopped to light candles at the tomb of Andrew Jackson. And one of those old troopers looked at me and said, "Think you can make it from here?" So humility returned. It cascaded down upon me. So I made it from there, and you have made it here, and you will take it from here. Today is a great day. You will receive your diploma in a moment. Your diploma is an honor. It's a prize. It is timeless. It is eternal. It is about what is within you. And with that prize and that recognition and that honor comes great responsibility. I'm excited to see the lives and the careers that you will have. As you are handed your diploma, let me offer you some words of a great philosopher, Mr. Rogers, who said, "It's not the honors and prizes of life which ultimately nourish our souls. It's the knowing that we can be trusted, that we never have to fear the truth, that the bedrock of our being is good stuff." And my wish for you today and tomorrow is that your lives and your careers will be filled with the good stuff. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Justice Tarwater, I hope you will accept this small token of our collective thanks for your being with us today.
Thank you, Dean.
With over 65 active members, the National School of Law's Legal Aid Society collectively accumulated more than 665 volunteer hours in community service this year. The Dean's Certificate of Recognition is awarded to today's graduates completing at least 50 hours of pro bono service throughout their law school career. Today, we recognize the following graduates, and when I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Emily Bain, Jennifer Birch, Emily Crawford, Charlena Fuqua, Amanda Harrington Sargent, Anthony Myers, Reginald Perry, Haley Pogue, and Jamie Schultz. Let's give them all a round of applause. You may sit down. Receiving the Dean's Certificate of Excellence for recording the most pro bono hours in the school's pro bono service initiative is Jennifer Birch. Ms. Birch, if you would stand to be recognized. The Honorable Society of Cooper's Inn is comprised of graduates who have distinguished themselves in their studies by graduating in the top 10% of their class. I request that each inductee stand to be recognized and remain standing after I have called your name. Avery Alsop, Jennifer Birch, Emily Crawford, Ezekiel Hall, Holden Montgomery, Stephanie Snow, and Jack Thompson. Congratulations. You may sit down. The Founders Award is given to the student who has earned the highest overall grade point average in the graduating class. Ms. Birch, you're going to have to stand up again. Be it known that this year's Founders Award recipient is Jennifer Birch. Please stand. You're going to get your exercise today. Ladies and gentlemen of the Cooper Term graduating class of 2025, will you please stand? By the authority vested in me as the 5th Dean of the Nashville School of Law, I hereby declare that each of these graduates is hereby awarded the degree of Doctor of Jurisprudence this 24th day of May, 2025. Congratulations to all of you.
Avery McKenna Alsop. Jamie Sue Amos. Emily Catherine Bain. Mercedes Nicole Baker. William McClendon Bell. Morgan Justine Blackburn. Taylor Brannon Boyson. Jonathan Stephen Lawan Braden. Victoria Brooke Brister. Jennifer Lynn Birch. Joe Lane Cantrell III. Christopher T. Carpenter. LaDarryl Trey Collier. Justin Lee Caldwell. Anna Maria Laws Craig. Emily Ann Crawford. Nicholas Taylor Crawford. Mary Charles Davis. Shanti Nicole Dennis. Matthew Joseph DePietro. Phoebe Caroline Dozier. Catherine Grace Falk. Hope Lorraine Ford. Gus Fraley. Charlena Gail Fuquay. Caitlin Ann Graham. Jackson Lee Hager. Ezekiel Noel Hall. Zoe Eloise Ham. Amanda Victoria Harrington Sargent. Ashley Kara James. Andrew G. Jensen. Lauren Carter Jones. Kyler Douglas King. Caleb White Lockhart. Jennifer Michelle McDonnell. Price Marseille McKinney, Jr. Savannah Faith Mesquerez. Holden Lee Montgomery. Shanterica Antoinette Morris. Abigail Grace Mutter. Anthony Dean Myers, Sr. Marquita Antoinette Oglesby. Hannah N. Padawan Spittle. Reginald B. Perry. Donald Jean Peslis II. Haley Michelle Pogue. Charles Evan Pohl. Leah Brianne Pybus. Anna Lee Richardson. Morgan Looney Robinson. Caleb Joshua Roney. Jamie A. Schultz. Emily Barnes Sievers. Carly Michelle Shelton. Douglas Bradford Smith, Jr. Justin Douglas Smith. Jasmine Michael Snow. Stephanie Elizabeth Snow. Austin George Solomon. William Craig Spellings. Dustin Mitchell Stevens. Matthew Blair Thomas. Zaya M. Tombre. Jack Andrew Thompson. May Thurmer. Ashley Irvin Worley. Alice Faye Williamson. Austin Rollins Wilson. Chris Yates. Alicia J. Bieletsky Eust Smalley.
You know, the most challenging job at an NSL commencement ceremony is to state the names of the graduating students when they cross the stage. Stacy Angelo has done a wonderful job. She is a professional musician, and she practices, and she practiced this. So thank you, Stacy, you did well. You know, as our audience and guests might imagine, today's 72 graduates could recount their experiences as students at our school in many different ways and in many different voices. Each one of their stories is certainly worth telling, but time constraints permit only one. And this year's class representative is Mr. Ezekiel Hall, and he's been requested to provide some brief parting remarks on behalf of his classmates. Mr. Hall, the podium's yours.
Let's give another hand to the class of 2025. I'd like to begin today by thanking the faculty and staff at Nashville School of Law who have supported us on this 4-year journey and for giving me the opportunity to speak this morning. The path to becoming a lawyer requires great sacrifice, not only for the student in the classroom, but for the support system that pushes them forward. While being a law student is a great challenge, we can only imagine the temperament required to deal with one of us every day. If you are a family member or friend who has helped one of these graduates get to this moment, would you please stand so that we can recognize your contributions and commitment? Thank you for your selfless service and dedication. As I was preparing to give this speech, I'll admit there were more than a few times I stopped and thought, why me? My biggest flex in law school was never getting called on in Judge Davidson's class, and I could have happily gone 4 years without standing for a spoon brief. I couldn't help but think of some of my fellow classmates who would be much better suited to the request and will no doubt go on to be exceptional litigators. But the more I fell down the rabbit hole of questioning my sanity for saying yes, the more it made me realize the truths of Nashville School of Law. It is unlike any other program in the country, primarily because it embraces the realities of life and the value of making the law accessible. At our school, it doesn't matter if you're a parent or grandparent, if you work a full-time job, if you drive from 3 hours away, if you're 24 or 74, or even if you have cerebral palsy, if you're willing to put in the work, NSL wants to see you succeed. So when the school took a chance on me and asked that I speak today, seeing the chances it's taken on all of us, I had to accept. What makes our school so special is that no two students come from the same or similar backgrounds, and yet we are bonded by our unique experiences. I believe that is a bond that cannot be found at other law schools. Some in the legal community might have looked at this assortment of students and seen insurmountable odds, but with great determination and endurance, we have proven our merit. While that little quiz called the Uniform Bar Exam is a couple months away for some of us, let it be momentarily forgotten and take this day to appreciate how far you've come. Many of us could probably spend a little too much time talking about the rigors and trials of law school, from starting in 1L when COVID numbers were high to seeing classmates come and go. It has felt like a lifetime. But instead of remembering the struggles, let's look ahead. One day, in the not-too-distant future, we will be sworn in as attorneys, and that lifetime of law school will feel like a lifetime ago. And when each of us reaches that mountaintop, it will be vital to remember the path we followed, because a lot of people say, I almost went to law school, but we are the ones who did. And through our actions and practices, we might inspire the next generation of attorneys who would otherwise not exist. The law can be one of the most rewarding gifts that we receive if we make it our duty to uphold its principles and share in its worth. If we devote ourselves to its betterment, I truly believe it will be an inspired exchange. And the next lawyer who makes a difference in this world may not have been the stereotypical know it when you see it law student, but instead someone who found meaning in the law as their second career. It will be one of the greatest honors of my life to practice the law alongside the many talented graduates in this room. Each of you is going to do incredible things in our legal community. So, let's celebrate this defining moment, because class of 2025, we finally made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. This ceremony is now beginning to close, and permit me, if I can, to just offer the class just a few words before you go. As Mr. Hall just said, you are the true dreamers among us today. The greatness of human beings lies not necessarily in the power to remake the world, but to remake ourselves. And that's exactly what you've done. You've studied the law with intensity of purpose. Our goal has been to give each of you an opportunity to experience yourselves as capable and effective women and men. You are and should be more self-confident today than you were when you started this endeavor. All of us hope that we have succeeded in empowering each of you to believe in your souls that you matter and that your responses to the challenge that await you will make an enormous difference in other people's lives. Our nation's founders dared to believe, as Thomas Paine said, that they had the power to make the world begin again. And accordingly, they undertook to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, and to ensure domestic tranquility. They understood, as we all do, that liberty under law is the finest way of life humanity can have. But despite their and our belief in this ideal, our country has been and will always be a work in progress. 61 years ago, I think he's a legal scholar, born in Hibbing, Minnesota, wrote a song that could have been written this morning. Some of you may be familiar with it. Its title is "The Times They Are A-Changin'." They certainly are. The rule of law and the very foundations of our government are under assault from without and from within. The traditional norms of mutual tolerance, institutional forbearance have been replaced by partisanship, division, and distrust. The principles of egalitarianism, civility, the sense of freedom and of shared purpose and responsibility that have long characterized our government are being tested. From the very beginning, as you heard from our speaker today, lawyers have been our country's principal architects and builders. As officers of the courts, the lawyers, like the courts themselves, have led our collective quest for equal justice under law. They have defended the Constitution. They have guarded our liberties. They have protected the powerless. They have advocated for just causes, no matter how unpopular, just as John Adams did. And they have served as our society's wise counselors. It was an appellate lawyer from Virginia who wrote the Declaration of Independence. As you've already heard today, it was a trial lawyer from Illinois that issued the Emancipation Proclamation. It was a corporate lawyer from New York who led our country through the dark days of the Depression and World War II. And in 1973, it was two good old country lawyers from Huntsville, Tennessee, and Morganton, North Carolina, that demonstrated that no person, not even the President of the United States, is above the law. The United States Supreme Court Justice Robert Jackson was fond of telling the parable of the three stonemasons. It goes something like this. Once upon a time, there were three stonemasons, and they were working on their project, and they were asked each in turn what they were doing. The first stonemason, without looking up, answered, "I'm earning a living." The second stonemason replied, "I'm shaping this stone to the pattern I've been given." The third stonemason stopped what he was doing, lifted up his eyes, and said, "I'm building a cathedral." Excuse me. And so it is with lawyers. For some, their work is certainly to earn the living. For others, practicing law is simply to make sure they do what they're told. But for others, practicing law is a loftier enterprise. It's building the cathedral. The cathedral is the rule of law. And it's that legal structure that will protect our rights and liberties for centuries to come. And so the question is today, what kind of lawyer are you planning to be? Whenever some cynic tells you that you can't make a difference, or whenever you are tempted to set your sights a bit lower, remember what the inspired lawyers who have gone before you have accomplished. Our nation remains a work in progress, and as lawyers, you can help narrow the gap between what America is and what it can be. You are at your threshold now of entering a noble profession, and you have accepted the responsibility to lead your communities to embrace not power, but the rule of law. And I am confident that each of you will live up to that challenge. And with those thoughts, members of the 2025 Cooper term class, you have my congratulations and best wishes. Please rise for the benediction delivered by Marquita Oglesby.
Please join me in a manner or posture that's most comfortable to you. I'm bowing my head. Lord, thank you for granting this class the opportunity to enter the legal profession at a time when democracy is being tested in new and profound ways. This is an ideal place to begin. Grant us the courage to face challenges that may deter others, guided by the wisdom we've gained and the compassion to advocate fiercely for those who depend on us. Let us move forward without hesitation, rigid in the belief that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. May our families and friends remain patient and steadfast in their support of us, as their resilience keeps us centered in our convictions. As we move forward, may we do so with clarity, courage, and compassion, remain grounded in our values, open to growth, and committed to justice. Let us support one another, stay true to our purpose, and meet what lies ahead with hope and humility. Amen. Congratulations to you all, and good luck.
Please sit down.